Do you want to speak English with more confidence? Is it difficult to find the right words? Do you sometimes get anxious when it's time to speak? Well, you are not alone. Many English learners feel insecure or anxious when speaking. But the good news is you can build your confidence with the right strategies. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 5 effective strategies with actionable examples for you to use. Make sure you stay to the end of this video for 2 phrases that you can use when your mind goes blank and you cannot remember the word you want to say. One of the biggest barriers to speaking English with confidence is the fear of making mistakes. So let's reframe mistakes as learning opportunities. Remember, mistakes are a part of learning. Every time you make a mistake, you are one step closer to improving. Practice speaking regularly. The more you speak, the more confident you will become, obviously. Confidence doesn't come from theory, learning lists of verbs, lists of words. It comes from practice. So how do I get practice, I hear you say? Well, you need to be looking for speaking opportunities whenever you can, whether it's with native speakers or fellow English learners. Here are some examples of things you can do. Join a language exchange program. Not an option for everyone, obviously, but an excellent way to learn English. Talk to yourself out loud, just not in public. I have students who describe, for example, what they are cooking of an evening when they're in their kitchen alone. This helps a lot with memory recall. Shadow films and series. Remember, you listen, press pause, and repeat what you've heard immediately. Organize English discussion groups, either at your school, university, or your workplace. Make it at lunchtime once a week and propose a topic for discussion. I know French people who organize lunch once a week with other colleagues at work to talk in English for an hour. Easy. Organize an English book club. This way you can get English reading practice and speaking practice. Perfect. My mom goes to an English book club in France. There are native speakers and non-native speakers. It's an excellent way to cover different vocabulary topics. Start with small steps. Commit to speaking English or shadowing for 10 to 15 minutes a day, either with someone or by yourself. That's accessible to everyone. Talk about your day, describe things around you, or discuss a topic you enjoy. Improve pronunciation and intonation. Why does pronunciation matter? Well, speaking confidently isn't just about knowing the words, it's about delivering them in a way that sounds natural. Working on your pronunciation can really boost your confidence. It can mean the difference between telling a joke in English that makes everybody laugh and telling a joke in English that nobody understands. So, work on intonation and rhythm. English, like all languages, has a unique rhythm and intonation pattern. Understanding how sentences rise and fall can help you sound more fluent and confident. How can you do this? Well, you know what I'm going to say, don't you? Use shadowing as a technique. Listen to native speakers, podcasts, YouTube videos, films, series, etc. And try to imitate how they speak, including their intonation when their voice goes up and down. And, just as important, the pauses. You see, it's not enough to simply imitate what you hear. If you sound the same, but you don't respect the silences or the pauses, it won't have the same rhythm. And both rhythm and intonation help you sound more natural. So start shadowing today. Expand your vocabulary with useful phrases. Sometimes lack of confidence comes from not knowing what to say. Expanding your vocabulary with common expressions and phrases will make you feel more prepared. Learn phrases you'll actually use. Instead of focusing only on individual words and vocabulary lists, learn full phrases and expressions that are useful in everyday conversations. I actually have a video that I will link below called 15 Conversation Starters. It has 15 full phrases you can use to start a conversation in different situations. This makes it easier to speak fluently and gives you something to fall back on in conversations. But don't just learn conversation starters. Learn phrases like, "That's a good question," when you need more time to think. Or, "In my opinion," to confidently express yourself. How are you going to do this? Well, you need to write down 5 new phrases each week, phrases that are of interest to you and that you have found in films, podcasts, or series, and challenge yourself to use them in conversation. Over time, these phrases will become second nature, making your speech smoother and more natural. Here are your first 5 phrases to learn this week. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. This phrase shows you find the other person's idea or comment thought-provoking. It's a way to acknowledge their input while encouraging the conversation to continue. I never thought of it that way. I never thought of it that way. Here you are admitting that the perspective of the other person is new to you. It also signals you're paying attention and are intrigued by what they said. That's a good question. That's a good question. This phrase buys you time to think before answering. It also flatters the other person by acknowledging that their question is thoughtful or challenging. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Here you understand the point the other person is making. It shows empathy and confirms that you are following their ideas or explanations. Exactly, I agree with you there. Exactly, I agree with you there. This expresses full agreement with what the other person has just said. It reinforces their statement and keeps the conversation flowing by affirming that you are on the same page. Focus on communication, not perfection. Sometimes learners get stuck because they are trying too hard to speak perfect English. This can cause anxiety and make you lose confidence. Prioritize getting the message across. In most conversations, people care more about understanding your message than whether your grammar is perfect. Focus on being clear and natural instead of flawless. How can you do this? Well, when you practice speaking, don't stop to correct yourself every time you make a small mistake. Keep going and try and get your message across, even if it's not grammatically perfect. If your mind goes blank and you cannot remember a word, here are 2 phrases that you can learn. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the right word. I can't remember the word, but it's something like, and then try to describe what you want to say. These 2 phrases will buy you time and will encourage the person you are speaking with to help you. Let's quickly recap the 5 strategies we have seen in this video to speak English with more confidence. Embrace mistakes as part of the learning process. Practice speaking regularly. Consistency is key. Focus on communication, not perfection. Improve your pronunciation and intonation. And expand your vocabulary with useful phrases and expressions to help you when you're in conversation. I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. If you have found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and share it with another English learner. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips on improving your English. And let me know in the comments below which of these 5 strategies has helped you the most. I absolutely love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.